Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's Rich Wilson. Welcome to Fantasy Baseball Live. It is Tuesday, July 5th, about 10:15 in the morning. I'm here, as always, with my good buddy, Mr. Tim McLeod. Tim, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you, and we've got 100 reasons to celebrate today, don't we?
We did this a special broadcast. This is usually our Take 10 with Tim. We do it on Friday. We're doing this on Tuesday because the top 100 list of prospects dropped at Prospect 361 yesterday. And Tim is going to go through and ask me a bunch of questions. I have no idea what the questions are, right, Tim? You haven't prepped me for questions.
I don't have a list of questions. This is going to be very free flowing. I've gone through a lot of the players and looked stuff up, but I just decided to make this about as unstructured as possible. But I do have one.
So you didn't have time to prepare? Is that what you're saying, Tim?
Oh man, read like a cheap novel. Okay, just like Mad Magazine, right? Or
exactly.
Something like that.
Were you a Mad Magazine fan?
Yeah, I like the white and the black. I read it a lot.
Yeah, I did as well as a kid. And Dick DiBartolo is a good dude. I've actually met him, and he was one of the big writers at the magazine. It's still kicking around out there. So
I do have one question though. Being that we're doing today, the 100 with Rich, does that mean the next Friday is 100 questions with Tim? Or?
No, it's not. And it better not be 100 questions with Tim. I've already got a question written. We won't be doing it on Friday, but for the next one, I've already sent it out to Tim and to the whole world here. It's like everybody talked about the three great young Latin players coming up in Vlad, Wander, and Julio Rodriguez. In their career, how do you order them? Who's going to have the best career, knowing what we know so far? And I'm curious as to what the great Tim McLeod will say. So,
that's I have to put some thought into that one, a fair bit of thought, because it's easy to say one player based on what he's done.
The recency bias, exactly. So,
well, come on, did you see the home run he hit last night?
Yes, it was massive. So,
well, it was in where was it? The what do they call it up there in San Diego? But anyhow, it was in left field. It was about four decks up. And it's
look, when he had a home run in the first 6 weeks and had like 10 stolen bases, I was totally flummoxed to me because this guy's got massive raw power, right? And you could see 40 home runs coming out of him, and the speed has been a nice bonus. But man, that guy he's good, Tim. He's good. He's got the swag. They all have the swag. All three of them have the swag. It's great. That's what baseball needs, man.
Well, yeah. And what impressed me about the first 6 weeks was that obviously, he was struggling with something and the power, but he just didn't sit back and moan about it. He found another way to bring a part of his game on the field and exploit it, that speed game.
Yeah.
And he took advantage. He took advantage of the fact that obviously he was struggling to get into a groove with the bat, but when he got on base, he was doing something.
Yeah.
And again, that's that swag. You know what I mean?
That's what superstars are made of, Tim.
Well, yeah, exactly. And although the power wasn't there, you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to.
He's a big, strong kid, and his season's already historic to me. I don't think any rookie has been at 15-20 at the midway point, and that's where he is.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be looking at players like Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
and those are big shoes to fill.
Yep. So I'm going to give Tim a week and a half to be able to ponder that question. So, but Tim, I'm going to turn over the reins to you. We're at the 5-minute mark. We're going to go an hour and 15 minutes, and I will cue you as to when we do commercial breaks. So I turn this over to you, Tim.
Okay. Well, I guess before we get started here, real quick, there's a lot of new names and faces on this list. Do you want to go through quickly your process when you started looking at, hey, it's fairly easy when you get into your top 10, 15. Mm-hmm. But when you start looking at 70 on down. What was your thought process in going through and assembling your list, Richard? What criteria were you looking at or focusing on?
So first and foremost, this is the first list I've ever done where we do not have the June draftees in here, right? So that typically the list looks more famous when you get the Garrett Coles and the Bryce Harpers and those guys that everybody knows who's going to be the top picks in a draft, even if you think back to last year. We don't have any of those guys, so that's one. Two is because of the changes to the Major League CBA, we've had a lot more players called up this year. It's plain and simple. If that's what they wanted, they accomplished that. So
yes,
you have a huge exodus out of the top 100 of guys just graduating, and you don't have any high-end guys that are being paid $5 million plus bonuses to kind of replace them. So you get a lot of guys who probably fit between 110 and 150 in a typical top 100 list making the list. So that's so right off the bat, that's kind of a background of what you get. So, and then I think some of these players, I mean, Alec Burleson's a great example. He's probably Jock Peterson, right? He's probably going to be a platoon kid, but man, he's got massive raw power and he's pretty good, right? So
yeah,
he doesn't
a good year from him. Yeah,
he doesn't make a top 100, but he's a guy that'll make a difference to your fantasy team. So why not put him in there? I could have put Hunter Brown in, a very good pitcher, can't find control. But, I could have put Gabriel Arias in there, the guy from Cleveland. He has already seen, 4, 5, 6 games in the major leagues. Another good guy. But people know about those players. Nobody knows about Ken Waldichuk or Warming Bernabel. So let's put them in there. So that's how I went about doing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. Like I said, there's a lot of new names and faces, and the one guy I'd like to focus on 98 right away is Sal Frelick.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's known, right? He's a first-round draft pick with Milwaukee. So
right, but potential leadoff hitter?
Yeah. It's fast, really good, makes great contact with a decent approach. Sure. Yeah, I think he could be a very interesting fantasy guy. It's very similar to Bryce Terang. They play obviously different positions. But they've got some other cats in there that, because we've talked about how Milwaukee has been drafting guys. They've been drafting the same player. High contact guys who have speed, who are top of the order kind of players. And the question is, I mean, why did they change that? Was that because of the first baseman there who strikes out 40% of the time? That switch from a hitter to, Timmy, he's up all the time, and we yell about him in Milwaukee now.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway,
Gorman Thomas.
No, not Gorman Thomas. Anyway, I'll think of the name later on. Yeah. We talked about ad nauseum, but have they changed that because they want guys that make contact? I don't know, but it looks like a profile of guys they like to draft, and Sal Frelick is one of those.
Yeah, and speaking of Frelick,
Keston Hiura. That's who.
Keston Hiura, yeah.
Total opposite of those guys, right? Kid who came in who thought he was going to hit with modest power, fell in love with trying to add leverage to the swing, and now he's become a power hitting strikeout guy, and these guys are polar opposites of him.
Right, which brings us, I sort of wanted to tie Bryce Terang into this question as well. He's not having a real good year, is he?
No.
You start looking at the strikeout to walk situation, and everything seemed to be trending in the right direction. And then came 2022, and 68, 28 strikeout. That's not good. I know you've got him at 92. Are you concerned by what we're seeing from Bryce Terang? I know he's only 22, but it seems like he's taking a step backwards after a couple of years of solid progression. So
I mean, part of the reason he's in there is because of the speed, Timmy. He has got 70 grade speed. He could steal 25 to 30 bases, and he is AAA. So I think that immediately puts him, kind of as a possible kid that should be known. He's only striking out 21% of the time, so it's not awful. The thing that bothers me is he's showing no power. I mean, 350
Yeah.
slug is just not, it's not good enough, right? So
Right.
when I have a write up where I use the word dunno, so
Yeah,
it's like, is he
yeah.
going to be an impact player? I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, but could he steal 20 bases? Could he be a Stephen Kwan-esque type of player? I think so. So, which, Quan's probably going to steal 15 bases and score a lot of runs. I think he could be that player. So,
Okay.
is that an impact player? No.
No, no, definitely not. At 96, you've got Nick Gonzalez, and I have to give kudos to you for sticking to your guns because you had some big time concerns when Nick Gonzalez turned into the new Nick Gonzalez, and it's not working, is it?
I had Nick Gonzalez in my first cut was like 130, something like that. And I looked at him, I
Right.
said, based on the pedigree, where the Pirates drafted him, and the fact that he's famous, I probably need to put him in there. But I wanted to make a statement like, look, if this was a normal year and we would have had a draft, he would not be in this list. And I totally agree. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He's Keston Hiura. Why you took a guy who could hit, fell in love with the swing and trying to hit home runs, and it's not working. I don't know anything else to say.
Well, yeah, you take a look at what he did last year, okay, as compared to what's happening. He decided to be a home run hitter, and now he's not hitting any.
Yep.
I'd be very, very concerned if I had Nick Gonzalez rostered.
He fell in love in college with the swing and trying to hit power. He played at New Mexico State, which is about a mile in the air. Balls fly out of that stadium, and he's not void of power, but from my understanding, the launch angle is very high, and now all of a sudden he's not hitting, and I don't know what you have, Timmy. I've been saying that all along. Like, why don't you become a contact hitter? Go with 8 to 12 home runs and try to have a major league career. I don't know what he's doing. So
Yeah, when you look at last year, 18 home runs, a 302 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this year 4 home runs, a 247 batting average. That's not trending in the right direction. So,
and with 33% strikeout rate, that's what's really disconcerting. And this is on the Pirates, right? They spent a lot of money for this guy, and he was well thought of coming out of college. It's on them to right the ship here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's take a look at the Boston system for a second.
It's very strong.
Yes, and at Double A Portland, there's a kid. I'm going to say Ceddanne Rafaela.
Ceddanne Rafaela. Ceddanne
Okay.
Rafaela. I did look that one up. So
Okay, cool. Looking at what he's doing in 22, definitely the pop-up category, as you put in your narrative, definitely applies. He's sitting right now with 15 homers, 17 stolen bases. That's a lot of tools, isn't it, for a 21-year-old at Double A?
yeah, and he's making decent contact. He never walks, right? This is a guy with a very aggressive approach,
Yeah.
but you see that a lot with kids, and that might be just who he is. I wish he walked more, Timmy, but
Right.
as long as he makes good contact, I think his tools are going to play. I think this guy could be a very exciting player.
Yeah, again, somebody that was totally off the radar for me. At 91, we've got.
It's annoying when you don't have guys like this on your dynasty league, Timmy. I don't have him. I don't have any shares in him either. So.
Okay. Mason Wynn in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, double plus speed, and apparently he's also got a pretty good fastball.
He does, Timmy. He pitched in high school, and there was a lot of teams that wanted to draft him as a pitcher. He wanted to try it in the outfield. Excuse me, the infield. So he wanted to be playing the field. But yeah, I would not be surprised, Tim, if he can't hit enough, that he becomes a closer, because you could see that. But man, he's got big time speed. He's got crazy raw power. If he can hit.